always go for the image, the geometrical image, and you may see here something like a ship that, you know, when we were children, we made ships and airplanes out of paper or newspaper or even helmets sometimes. But you see this ship here, and we're talking about relationship because we have the sun in the seventh house, and the seventh house, as I said so many times before, is equivalent to Libra. And there it is about the I and the thou. I've been talking about, you know, this book by Martin Buber that I want to recommend as a basic theological work about understanding the relationship between I and thou and not I and it. And recently I have been listening quite a lot to this Austrian-German spiritual teacher, Rudolf Steiner, who also talks about how a certain way of looking at the relationship of everything between everything plainly out of an economical like financial value system, then everything and everybody becomes a commodity, and we are all have to sell ourselves in some kind of markets. Now we have, as this is the full moon, we have the opposition between the sun here and the moon. And also we have the sign rising of that event here in Hawaii, which is like at 6:15 in the evening. We have it in Scorpio, and Scorpio is opposed to this beautiful earth sign Taurus, you know, where the cherries are blooming, everything is blooming, and people want to get married. And, you know, we just had Beltane, we had the May Day, and so everything is just fresh and beautiful and moist. And yeah, so there are a lot of flowers also that one can pick and make beautiful adornments, like here in Hawaii, the lace out of. And so, so this is the kind of the month where Earth is at her most beautiful, and the Taurus is also that's the summer house of Venus. Venus is at home at Taurus, and also we have the karmic aim, and very very close to the so-called descendant, and the descendant that's the point of thou, of you. Yeah, that where I and you say. So here the sun, that is the expression of the time, is ready to get married, and the moon is right here opposing. So we have, and we are living in a binary world, and you know, all the computer intelligence is all based on just one and zero. Think about it. We are, you know, we are having this poles, always two opposites, and here they're meeting. And so the moon is in the first house, and the moon is supposedly be female, but in German the moon is male for one or the other reason. And in Latin and France and French and Spanish and Portuguese, it's all the moon is female and the sun is male. But in German, for one or the other reason, and German is the basic language of English, even the Anglo-Saxons that came over to and was occupying England and left their language. And then came the Normans with their French, and so here we have the moon as the male and the sun as the female opposing each other. And you have that in marriages. You have, on one hand, you have a couple that is supposed to, it has a common responsibility. That's why it forms, the couple forms, is to raise children or raise ideas, raise projects as two opposing poles. Between those opposing poles, you know, like a cradle something new, some new creation can grow. That is actually that's the purpose of marriage, to form this cradle between two opposing poles. And that stands for all kind of creations, also brain children. That's very, very important, that we see we are here to learn love. We are in physical bodies to learn about, to deal with the opposite, not in form of war, but in form of love, as a love dance. And now we have the big struggle here. We have this square. In astrology, always the square stands for struggle, and the top is at the point of mission. The point of mission, it being in Leo. Leo, the king in the zodiac, is the second fire sign, where the fire is in service of the ego. First fire sign is here, where Venus is right now, and Venus is conjuncting beautifully Chiron, the wounded healer, and giving, not very strongly, but giving her power to this aim of the kingdom. I would say the kingdom inside, to bring the kingdom inside into the outside world. That is what is art all about. All kinds of art, even political art, healing art, everything. So we are doing a lot of healing here in the field of love, of aesthetics, of beauty. And we are rooted here in Aquarius. Aquarius stands for the collective, for the so-called masses in the Marxist meaning. And here is Saturn, the master of karma, which can also be seen as the old grandmother, who is quiet but also merciless. That's the law as such, the law that you cannot break. There is a law in the universe, in the cosmos. You cannot break that law. It's impossible. And so Saturn stands for that, and right now is in the realm of the collective, and is opposed by what is personal. Leo is very benevolent when aspected well, and it is helpful and generous, but always needs praise for the ego that is not given by Saturn in the opposing domain of Aquarius, where it is about the collective, about the masses, where the ego is swimming in the group like birds in a flock, all going in the same direction. And so here it has been for a long time already now, is that the wounded healer is in the first fire sign, where it is also a lot about like willpower as such. And it is also here, it is the Venus and Chiron, the wounded healer, is in the fifth house. And there's a lot in the fifth house here. This is all the fifth house starts in Pisces, at the end of Pisces. Here we have a conjunction between Mars and Neptune. Neptune belongs into Pisces. Neptune is at home in Pisces. That's the god of the ocean. And also Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. It's the universal lover, the lover, the love that is impersonal. It's just like radiates. You're in love. You're in love with a certain person, but then you're also in love with all the trees, and you're in love with the animals, and you're in love with the flowers and the clouds and the sunrise and the sunrise and whatever. So that's all about Neptune, and now is in conjunction with Mars. I've been talking about Mars before in the last reading for the new moon that just went by. Is that Mars in Pisces is like a little, like hitting in water. It's a little bit, not very forceful, this kind of Mars position, and has to be careful in conjunction with Neptune. Don't try to deceive. Don't try to make promises that you cannot keep. Don't try to manipulate. And just be loving. Yeah. Be receptive for love and experience that as a universal experience, not a very personal experience. That is like one leg of your cradle. Now, this is very beautiful, connected with Pluto, and I've been talking about Pluto so many times, the big transformer, who is now going and giving the karmic aim in Taurus, the whole Taurus theme, as opposed to the more magical, more manipulative Scorpio theme, is giving its power, being in the last hardest Earth sign, and transforming our relationship to the Earth as a planet big time, before it's going to very soon go into Aquarius, and then transform whatever we have been thought about our role in the collective, how we are living inside the collective with many, many, many others. So this is what Pluto is coming into soon, but still, it's still all about our relationship to our planet.